Greetings, Hoodoo family. How are you doing? I hope everything is going well for you, that you're staying cool and enjoying the summer. Let me ask you, have you been able to do any type hoodoo work this summer? I really hope that you are practicing and trying all of the things that I share on this channel. This is traditional hoodoo of our ancestors, where you have to really put in the work. But I'm so happy to be here with you on this hoodoo journey. So thank you to all of my subscribers and supporters. I really appreciate you. And if you're new here on the channel, welcome to Holdus Hoodoo. I hope that you enjoy our journey today as we learn how to make good old-fashioned homemade hoodoo candles. I'm big on doing things, myself, and making the things that I need for my hoodoo journey. Now, don't get me wrong, I have a whole stock of candles that I use in my hoodoo work, as you can see. Plenty of them come from Walmart. I have a lot of them from the dollar store. And I have about 2 of them that came from an actual hoodoo shop. But all these candles are good. I use them because I'm burning them almost daily. But I can remember a time when hoodoo candles was made in secrecy at home. Our ancestors are so creative. They truly knew how to make something out of nothing. And I grew up watching the elders, my parents. Everything was used 100%. Scraps was always recycled into something. And that's what you're going to learn with hoodoo candles today, homemade ones. Now, what's the difference between a store-bought candle and a homemade candle, you might ask? Well, actually, both are very good. They serve a good purpose. But a homemade candle that you make yourself, it has spirit in it. You can put your essence into the candle and your intent while you're making the candle. But to me, the biggest thing is that your hands made it. That's something to be proud of. So let me show you what we'll be using. Family, this is my candle graveyard. That's what I call it. And just like you can make hoodoo soap with soap scraps, we'll be doing the same thing with candle scraps. Save your candle scraps. You don't have to throw them away. I have some candles here that they wouldn't stay lit. They just would not work for me. So I'm going to include them in this. I threw them on into my candle graveyard, and I'm going to remelt and reuse these. And I'm sure it was probably the wick that was causing them not to burn, but I'm going to use them anyway. And I encourage you, build your own little candle graveyard with candle scraps, candles that didn't work well, whatever you have. Now, I'm going to be using my homemade hoodoo oils. And on this channel, I've shown you how to make several types of hoodoo oils. Well, now is a good time to use them. If you have the Hoodoo Basic Training textbook, there are oil formulas in there for you as well. So you can use essential oils if you want to. There's no problem with that. But I just like to use hoodoo oils that I made for myself. You will need a mold, which can be a jar, it can be a candle holder, a bowl. I'm also going to be experimenting with some metal candle molds that I just recently purchased. So I'm going to be doing traditional way and also using some of these more newer methods. Now, if you're new to this, test it out with the cardboard roll from a roll of tissue. Back in the day, people used jars. They used glasses, bowls, and toilet tissue rolls. If you're on a budget, you can use the cardboard roll that's in a tissue roll, and I'll show you how to do this. Now we will need to make a wick. So we'll be using butcher string. It's pure cotton, which is what we're looking for. It doesn't have any synthetic in it. And we don't want string that has some sort of polyester or synthetic fiber in it because it won't burn right. Now I'll be testing out some newer tools such as these metal votive molds. It comes with the wicks, it comes with the wick pins. We're going to see how these work. I got the whole set off of Amazon. All of it came together, about 100 wicks, and I think it's 10 wick pins. Now remember, these are hoodoo candles. We're not making decorative or smell good candles. These candles are different because the goal is to put spirit into them for a purpose. And today I'm making a good luck candle because we can all use some good luck. And before we get started, let me just say right here, whatever pot, whatever spoon, whatever tool you use for candle making, it's going to have to remain dedicated to candle making. And please, please, please do not try to wash these tools, leftover candle off of the pot or the tools. You will destroy your plumbing. My daughter, my oldest daughter, several years ago made some candles, and I didn't know it, but at the time she tried to wash the pot in the sink, and that candle went down into the drain, got into the plumbing, stopped it up, had to come get a plumber out too. They had to cut the line to get that out. So I just say to you, whatever you use, you're not going to be able to wash it. What you can just do is get a dry paper towel and wipe it down as best you can. But those tools in that pot, you cannot wash, and they're going to have to be dedicated to your candle making moving forward. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll be adding some osha root to the melting wax. Osha root will help to attract and bring good luck. I do encourage you to use some form of root in any kind of hoodoo candle that you're making. I'm also going to be using a strainer, and you can use cheesecloth if you want to. That's going to help to remove some of the debris. So here I've added some of the candle scraps and continuing to add these to the pot. And the candle wax has melted, and you can see the osha root. I'm going to let that osha root just kind of simmer in there while I do some of the other things. Here's a quick tip for you. I recommend that you go to the thrift store and see if you can find a used pot, strainer, spoons, utensils that you can use for candle making. Now here I'm going to start preparing the wick for the cardboard tissue holder candle mold. So I want it to be a little longer than the cardboard tube. I'm dipping the string into the wax, and I'll do this several times. Every time I bring it up, it adds another coat of wax to the string. And here I'm just going to lay it out flat and as straight as I can on a paper plate. It's going to dry. It doesn't take long to dry at all. And while that dries, I'm going to work on this cardboard tube. I need to add a bottom to the tube. So what I'm going to do is use a piece of cardboard and just outline a circle around it. And as you'll see, I'll cut this out and I'm going to tape it to the bottom of that cardboard tube. Now, the old folks they didn't use tape, they used aluminum foil. Just kind of added aluminum foil all the way from the bottom of it, up to the top of the tube. You can also do that. But here I'm just want to test out the tape. But you can also use the aluminum foil, and that works just as good. I need to put a bottom on the bottom of the cardboard tube and insert a hole in it so that I can run the wick through the tube. So this is how I'm doing this, just drawing across to find the middle of the circle, and then I'm going to put a hole in it and place this at the bottom of the tube. So as you see here, I put the wick through the bottom, and now I'm going to tape it to hold it in place. Now, when I finish this, the cardboard tube candle, the bottom of it is actually going to become the top of the candle. You'll see when we get to that point. And I know it might seem like a lot of steps, but once you go through this process, it really is easy to do. It truly is. And of course, you don't have to use candle scraps. You can actually use beeswax. Some people still use paraffin, even though I think it, has some toxicity to it. But you can use whatever type of wax you'd like to, even soy wax. Back in the day, our ancestors also made candles with beef tallow and lard. Now, those are soft candles. You have to create those in a jar. So here I'm adding my oils, and I'm going to add my Hoodoo Van oil to this, 2 tablespoons to the melted wax that still has the osha root in it. And here you'll see why I'm using a strainer and also this measuring cup, because the measuring cup will allow me to pour the melted wax into the molds a lot easier. There's no way I could have poured this from the pot into those molds. There would have been wax everywhere. And I just realized I did not show you how I did the top of the cardboard tube candle as far as the wick. Well, you see me insert the wick. At the top, I used 2 toothpicks to hold it in place, to keep it straight and in the middle. And here I'm just pouring a little candle wax in first, just to give each candle some stability. And then I'll finish this up. It doesn't take long for the wax to start hardening But one thing I will do, and I will have to come back and top this off because this is going to shrink. These candles are going to shrink, so I'm going to have to add a little bit more wax to the top of every one of these. But one thing that really helps is if when I put it in the freezer, and I'll put it in the freezer maybe from 10 to 15 minutes, and it helps to really uh, cure it, faster, and it also helps it to come out of the molds a lot easier. And here I am topping off each one, adding a little bit more wax to it. I had the little glass jar and I did put a wick in it and forgot about it. So you're going to see me pour wax into the little glass jar candle. And y'all, I didn't show this, but I had to reheat that wax for probably about 2 or 3 times because I kept forgetting about it and it hardened. So here I've completed um, these candles in the metal cups. So I'm just going to pop these out of here. And I have to say, these are very easy to use. Now, I really like these. They're much cleaner. If you have the money to invest in them, it's certainly worthwhile. And I think what I'm going to do is probably, because the kit came with 10 cups, I think what I'm going to do is go back and probably make about 2 batches more of candles, different kinds. As you've seen, I chose the green scraps so that I could have these green candles, but I really like these. Just being able to insert the wicks, into the hole that the wick pins have made. So much easier. But you do whichever method or whichever mold is easier for you. Everything stays the same. It's just depends on the type of mold you use, what type prep work you have to do. So now it's time to deconstruct this mold. Unfortunately, with the cardboard tube, this is just a one-time use. But hey, if you save all of the cardboard tubes out of your toilet tissue rolls, you can have a good number. And also, you can cut these in half if you wanted smaller candles. You can slice them up if you wanted to make some tea light candles. So there we have the bottom, which turned out very nice. And now it's time to kind of take that cardboard off. And I'm trying to be as gentle as I can. There you can see where I added the latest wax. But here I'm getting ready to make a mistake that I hope you won't. So it got to a point where I needed to grip that cardboard and start pulling it. I used the scissors and then I dug my finger in and made a nice little gouge in there. So don't do that. But overall, the candle is usable and it worked. And these are the type things that our ancestors would do. They would take leftovers and scraps, make a way out of no way, make something out of nothing. And that's hoodoo. That's hoodoo. Making a way out of no way. Trying to create something out of nothing. So there you go. We've got all the candles here that are completed. I'm going to let them sit and just cure for probably about 24 hours before I attempt to light them, and probably trim these wicks down a little bit more too. But it's a joy, it's a pleasure to make something with your own hands. Now you are working just like the ancestors did, taking a few scraps, turning nothing into something. So you should be very proud of yourself, and thank you for continuing to watch this video until the end. Here you can see the candles at work in an actual ritual. But this is what I wanted to show you, that you have the power to do and make amazing things for your hoodoo journey. And you can make your own candle stock, all kinds of candles. Just change up the roots and the oils. You can make protection candles. You can make enemy candles, love candles, money candles, whatever you need. You can have your own stock and know that it came from you. And I did forget to add that you can also add your hair and nail clippings to these candles, especially if they are for you. So family, I really hope that you will take advantage of what I've shown you today and create some candles for yourself that you have put your own energy into. Just truly amazing to see, the things that your hands can create. Family, if you love traditional hoodoo and you want to learn, you want to build your skills, I encourage you to check out my books on my website. I also have books on my eBay store, so you have two options you can purchase from. But these are books that give you not just overviews or descriptions. I actually take the time to give you step-by-step instructions on how to do hoodoo work. So please go check out these books on my channel. And to all of you who have bought the books, I really thank you, appreciate you for your support. And I hope that everything that I'm doing is helping you on your hoodoo journey. Until the next video, I just want you to have an amazing, wonderful, and powerful hoodoo journey. Thank you.